Just weeks before Lindsay Clancy killed her children, another mother in Brockton was sentenced to life in prison for killing her two young sons. While the same judge is presiding over both cases, they're unfolding very differently. Tammy Mutasa explains why the Brockton mother is now getting a new trial.
Mutasa Sanders was convicted of the unthinkable, killing her two young boys in their Brockton home. Now she's getting a new trial after the state's highest court ruled the same judge in the Lindsay Clancy trial didn't let a jury hear key evidence about her troubling mental health.
That pain falls on their hearts every day.
This was the moment in December 2022 when Mutasa Sanders was sentenced to 2 life terms for brutally murdering her boys, 8-year-old Edson and 5-year-old Layson.
That's a life sentence for them.
Judge William Sullivan presided over Sanders' trial. He's the same judge overseeing the Lindsay Clancy trial, who's accused of strangling her 3 children.
It's so hard for us to get our mind around how anybody could take their own children's life. And when it happens in such a gruesome manner, the way that it did in the Sanders case, the way that it did in Lindsay Clancy's case, I think it makes it even harder for us to understand it.
Sanders admitted she stabbed her boys dozens of times in what prosecutors called voodoo ritual killings. But her defense argued she wasn't criminally responsible because she was insane at the time. Now, the state Supreme Judicial Court ruled Sanders will get a new trial because the judge was wrong when he didn't allow the jury to hear about her mental illness while she was awaiting trial in prison and in a state psychiatric hospital. According to the ruling, a jury never saw thousands of pages of medical records compiled after the murders, where doctors found Sanders suffered from hallucinations and paranoid schizophrenia that was undetected and untreated for decades.
It really was up to the jury to decide whether or not those factors, that schizophrenia and other distorted thinking illnesses and behaviors, were at play at the time she committed the crime. And Sullivan just prevented that from happening.
The SJC saying the exclusion of the defendant's relevant medical records relating to the diagnoses or treatment of mental illness constituted prejudicial error, and as a result, the defendant is entitled to a new trial. The ruling raising questions if mental illness should be given more weight in criminal cases.
Mental illness and criminal responsibility issues have been around since we've had a criminal justice system. Now we just talk about mental illness more.
The Plymouth DA's office says they are reviewing the court's decision and will continue to be a voice for victims of crime like the 2 young boys. In Brockton, Tammy Mutasa, WBZ News.